Okay, let's talk about AI. I mean, you see it everywhere, right? These crazy headlines about what it can do. But how much of that is real and how much is just, hype? Well, in this explainer, we're going to cut right through all that noise. I'm going to give you a super simple but really powerful tool to figure out what's fact and what's fiction when it comes to AI. All right, let's jump in.
It really does feel that way sometimes, doesn't it? You see AI beating the best players in the world at these super complex games. It's creating this incredible art. It's revolutionizing whole industry. So it leads you to wonder, are there any limits? Is AI about to be able to do, well, everything?
Well, the short answer, coming from the folks who are actually building this stuff, is a big fat no. And while AI is, unbelievably powerful, it works within some very specific and often kind of narrow limits. This whole idea that it's some kind of magic bullet that can solve any problem you throw it at, that's probably one of the biggest myths out there.
So, why do we all think AI is this all powerful thing? A huge part of the problem is just what we hear about. Think about it, the news, even academic papers, they almost always focus on the wins, on the success stories. So we get this constant feed of everything that worked, but we almost never hear about all the AI projects that totally flopped. And that gives us this really skewed view of reality, making AI seem, basically unstoppable. The good news, though, is that you don't need to be a computer scientist to get a good gut feeling for what AI can and can't do. There's a really practical, dead simple way you can quickly figure out if an AI idea is likely to work or if it's just science fiction for now. So first, we got to get our heads around the main engine behind most of today's AI breakthroughs. It's called supervised learning. And honestly, the idea is pretty simple. You take an AI and you feed it tons, thousands or millions, of examples of an input, let's call it A. And you also give it the correct output. We'll call that B. The AI's whole job is just to figure out the connection between A and B, so that eventually it can predict B all by itself. It's kind of like a student cramming for an exam with a massive, massive answer key.
And that leads us to this awesome little trick, the 1-second rule. Let's try it right now. Think of a task you'd want to give to an AI. Got it? Okay, now ask yourself, could a person do the mental part of that task in less than a second, a snap judgment? If the answer is yes, then there's a fantastic chance that an AI can be trained to do it, either right now or very soon. It's such a simple test, but it's surprisingly accurate. So let's look at some things that totally pass this test. Like when you're driving, you glance in the mirror and you instantly know where the other cars are. That's a 1-second task. Or you look at a new phone and can immediately see if there's a scratch on the screen. Or you hear a word and just write it down. You don't even think about it. These are all perfect examples of the 1-second rule. And what do you know? These are all things AI is really, really good at. Okay, but what's maybe even more useful is how this rule explains why AI fails. So what about the stuff that humans can't do in a split second? This is where AI just hits a brick wall. And the all-time classic example? Trying to predict the stock market. Now, on paper, this looks like a perfect job for that A to B supervised learning thing, right? Your input, A, is a stock's price history. And the output you want, B, is what the price will be tomorrow. I mean, people have thrown billions of dollars at trying to solve this exact problem with AI. But here's the thing. Here's why it fails. It's not because the AI isn't powerful enough. It fails because the input data, it's just not very good. I mean, even the smartest human trader on the planet can't look only at a price chart and tell you what's going to happen next. There just isn't enough information in input A to figure out output B. So if a human can't do it, the AI can't do it either. It fails the test. And this really shows you the difference between good data and bad data. A stock's price by itself, it's a really weak signal. Now, what if you had other stuff? What if you had data on a company's website traffic, or maybe data that could predict their sales? Then you might start to have something. But think about it. Analyzing all that complex data is definitely not a 1-second task for a human. All right, so the 1-second rule is our main thing. But we can add 2 more little rules to our checklist to really get a good sense of whether an AI project has a fighting chance. These 2 are absolutely mission critical. First, the task itself has to be a simple concept. And second, you've got to have tons and tons of data. Let's break those down real quick because they are super important. So, what's a simple concept? Well, it really just goes right back to our 1-second rule. A simple concept is a direct judgment call. Spotting a car is just recognizing a pattern. That's what AI is great at.
But predicting a company's future sales, that's a complex concept. It takes a lot of different steps, pulling together market trends, economic reports, business strategy. AI just isn't very good at that kind of deep, multi-layered thinking. Now for the next point, and this one is a total deal breaker. Modern AI is so data hungry. It learns by seeing examples. And a few hundred examples or even a few thousand, that's usually not going to cut it. For a project to have a real shot, you often need tens of thousands, sometimes millions of examples to train the system right. And let's be super clear about what we mean by data. It's not just a big pile of files on a server. It has to be a structured set of those A and B pairs we talked about. So for that phone scratch detector, you need thousands of photos of phones. That's your input A. And for every single one of those photos, you need the right answer, scratched or not scratched. That's your output B. If you're missing either half of that equation, the AI has absolutely zero to learn from. So when you put all of this together, the 1-second rule, making sure it's a simple concept, and having tons of A/B data, it gives us a whole new way to look at AI. It's time to stop seeing it as this all-knowing magical brain and start seeing it as something way more down to earth. And this is maybe the best way to think about AI right now. It really is like the new electricity. It's this massive, game-changing technology that's going to transform like every single industry. But just like electricity, it follows rules. You can't just wish for a light to turn on. You need the wires, the light bulb, and a clear reason to flip the switch. AI is an amazing tool, but it's definitely not magic. And that's really the whole point. By understanding these simple rules, you can see past all the hype. You can focus your time, your money, and your company's energy on picking projects that are not only cool and valuable, but are actually doable with the tech we have right now. So I'll just leave you with this question. Think about your job or your industry or even just your everyday life. Using this new framework, what kind of simple 1-second tasks that have a lot of data are just sitting there waiting for you to solve them with AI? I bet you can think of a few.